Midge Holloway wouldn't believe Taylor until she saw it for herself. They now stood in the hallway outside Midge's apartment. She stared at Taylor. Then her head started to shake, sending red curls everywhere. Her body followed. She wrapped her arms tight around her chest, but it was hard to hold back her shudders as shock set in. "I barely even knew the man," she whispered. "What's he doing in my apartment?" "I don't know," Taylor said grimly, "but we have a very limited window to find out." She stared at him, her fuzzy mind confused as she struggled to understand what Taylor was talking about. She glanced up and down the hallway. "This is so wrong. I'll be in so much fucking trouble." "That you are," he said. "So somehow we have to clear you of this." He stopped talking and looked at her intently. "Presuming you're innocent." Her eyes widened, and she stared at him for a moment before her temper spiked. "I had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. How could you even think I would do something like that?" "Hey, I hated to ask, but I needed a clear answer," Taylor said, running a hand through his hair. "I'm short on sleep. It's been a rough couple of days. Look, in the last 8 years that I've been in the Navy, I've seen way too much shit. Not just on a personal level, but globally. No, the scene in your apartment is not a new coup taking over a small country and leaving behind only bloodshed, bones, and broken dreams. But on a small scale, it's really the same damn thing. You've got somebody who wanted something, and they're using people as a way to get it. So you need to tell me how well you knew Gary." Just then, a door slammed down the hallway, and a guy turned to the stairway without even looking at them. They could hear his footsteps as he went downstairs. She looked at Taylor and whispered, "Did you recognize him?" He shrugged. "No, I can't say that I did. You?" She frowned. "I don't know," she said. "I feel like I'm looking at everybody suspiciously. For that matter," she turned to look at him, "how do I know you didn't kill him? Maybe when your door was open, you had just raced away from my place." He gave a bark of laughter. "If only I had the energy for all that. You can call Nelson and find out that I just got home like an hour ago." "How long do you think the guy has been dead?" He watched her with respect. "Oh, good question. Because if he's only been dead 45 minutes, I could have killed him. But what would be my reason for letting you know a dead guy is in your room?" She frowned, not sure exactly what his reasoning would be. "Maybe you're not a nice guy, but you're not quite the asshole who would want me to come home in the dark and see that either." He pursed his lips with a smirk and said, "Good theory, but it's a no on all counts." She raised both hands in frustration. "Fine, so now what?" "We call in the police," he said quietly, "and you don't touch anything." "I'm not touching nothing," she snapped, "except my cell phone. I have to go to work. You know that, right?" He shook his head. "Tell them an emergency came up." "Are you kidding? That's why I got called in to begin with. Somebody else had an emergency." "Let me call the cops first. I'll see if you can head off to work, but I've got a pretty good idea what the answer will be." She heard broken bits of the conversation, but the gist was clear. She'd better stay here, or her ass was on the line. It made sense, considering it was her apartment and all, but at the same time, she didn't want to get into more trouble at work either. Reluctant but resigned, she picked up her phone and called her boss. His voice ripped through the air. "Why aren't you back here yet? I told you that we needed you." "I'm sorry, sir," she said, "but something major is going on in my apartment building." "Unless you're dead, dying, or almost there," he snapped, "you better get your ass over here, or don't bother coming tomorrow." She gasped in outrage, but Taylor snapped her phone from her hand.